Hey guys, and welcome to another electrifying, energetic edition of the Journal. I'm your host, Mark Bullock.
And I'm Poria Pishwa, but you guys at home could just call me P. We got a bunch of exciting stories for you today.
And if you're a writer, you're going to love our guest today. So sit back, relax, get ready, and don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. We'd first like to talk about a very serious issue that's been going on for many years.
What's that?
Well, have you ever noticed how some of Canada's new immigrants aren't receiving the employment opportunities they deserve? Why is it that these highly educated immigrants are forced to work as cab drivers and cleaners just because they studied abroad? Daniel Diaz produced a segment, and he has some of the answers.
Homelands, they're top of the profession, but when they come to Canada, everything they worked hard for is gone. Today we look at why this happened and visit two men who are victims of this issue. Anthony Jaitalaka immigrated from the Middle East for one reason, which was to have a better opportunity for his family, but found it hard to find a job in his field.
I was not able to get a job in my field, and I had to, work as some other thing just to, make ends meet. One of the problems was that over in Canada, when you first come over here, they are looking for what they call Canadian experience. I did not have any Canadian experience, even though I had some of the qualifications they were looking for.
Anthony attended York University as well as Ryerson and got a CGA, which gave him the qualifications that some companies require. However, the process took a toll on him and his family.
It was very hard because we did not have any close relatives to look after the kids. So my wife was mainly involved with that, while I had no time for my family at all.
I didn't fully understand what was going on, but I do remember not seeing him too often. I wouldn't see too much of him. My mom was usually the one that would look after us. I remember every morning at about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, he would get up and he'd go downstairs to study.
Pretty much every night I used to do my homework and my assignments and stuff like that. It was a hard time.
Anthony is now the manager of cost accounting for Vitalik, one of the largest companies that designs and distributes pipes all over the world. Although the transition was hard and difficult on him and his family, it was all worth it in the end. However, for Kuvila Isaac, the struggle continues, as he's still in the process of becoming a licensed pharmacist.
Not very easy to adjust initially, but slowly you get used to it. There I was more into the managerial position. I was managing a couple of stores, plus at the same time working as a pharmacist. Here it is more back to the grassroots, I would say. It's back to college. You have a couple of exams, which I have taken, which I have finished. And now I'm in the process of my studentship and internship. I have 4 months of studentship and 4 months of internship. So hopefully I should get my license by April of next year.
For someone who's been a pharmacist for more than, I'd say, 18 years of his life, I find it quite ridiculous to have such a complicated and complex exam for a pharmacist. It should be quite simple and straightforward, whereas they have like a couple of tests and exams, which is very strenuous on him. And as a son, I can see that it's very hard on him for him to go through like studying from scratch everything till like what a student would do in a short period of time, basically.
I spoke with a citizenship and immigration officer who declined to go on camera, but told me that if an immigrant wants to come to Canada, they must fill out the requirements in the application, which can be found on their website. She said that there are various reasons why it's difficult for newcomers to find a job, such as government policies, educational system, and Canadian experience, which is one of the first things Canadian employers look for. These 3 points are some of the various reasons why immigrants are stuck taking low-class jobs, or as Anthony and Villa, re-attend school. For more information, visit www.cic.gc.com. I'm Daniel Diaz for the Journal.
Wow, that was a pretty eye-opening story. And regardless of where you come from, we at the Journal want to wish luck to every hard-working person who's actively seeking employment. So, with that said, we all know that music is a universal language and it's enjoyable by everybody. Well, Kevin Wedge is going to help us mellow down, relax, and take some awesome percussion beats. Check it out.
For me, I discovered drumming at a very young age, and it's always been inside of me. I never realized it could be such a social event and event that is bonding and is tribal in nature. I've drummed for a number of years before I started hand drumming. My first encounter was a community-based group that would practice every week down at Pickering Beach. And I came down there after dinner one time and saw these 20 people playing drums, and I was drawn to the sound and drawn to the interaction and drawn to the people and the personalities that were there, and I knew immedately that this part of drumming is something that I hadn't explored because I was primarily a kit drummer, but that it struck something deep inside me, and I think everybody has a unique sense of tribe within them, and it's getting in touch with that and then understanding how you fit in within that tribe. This has been going on for thousands of years, and right now it's really has an increase in popularity. More people are getting in touch with that. It's a great social event where people can come together and explore their own rhythms, new rhythms, can join with other people, share this commonality or this bond, and it can draw people from all different races together. And I think one of the reasons for the popularity now is it draws all cultures in together, and each culture can add their unique flair, their own rhythm, works jointly to create the bigger picture, which is the sound of the hand drummers. Most hand drumming is done with a variety of different rhythms being played at the same time that create polyrhythms that create this immense sound. So you can have 10 drummers drumming and it'll sound like 100 drummers. And we have people from all walks of life. I drum with a doctor on one side of me, with a special education teacher on the other side of me. We have bankers, professional businessmen, postmen, waiters, waitresses, all spectrums. You can't pigeonhole anybody. It really is core to who they are. If drumming is a core to that. If that resonates within them, they'll be drawn. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what your profession. It's deeper than segregating someone by, your all doctors do this or all hippie wannabes do this. Is the only universal instrument that crosses all cultures, all countries, all barriers. Every culture has a drum.
That was a pretty exciting piece. You ever been to a drum circle?
No, but that's some good drumming.
No, but it gets so exciting because we all know that good drumming beat creates good music.
Yeah, but good music creates a relaxing soul.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what it's all about.
That's really right. And with a relaxing soul, you live a healthy lifestyle like athletes. Who do you think the best athletes are?
No doubt. The best athletes in the world have to be wrestlers.
Oh, wrestlers. But wrestling is all fake. I know somebody who's a better athlete than any of those wrestlers.
Who?
Well, check out Aubrey's piece. It's a female, first of all. Check out Aubrey's piece and you'll see who I'm talking about.
Interesting.
When most people think about circus acts, they think of clowns and juggling. But we're here outside Center of Gravity in Toronto's East End to take a look at one woman and her high-flying way to revolutionize the circus industry. So let's go inside and take a look.
I'm Jen Georgopoulos, and I'm an aerial acrobat with Zero Gravity Circus. I do the aerial silks, which look like tissue that you climb up and tie yourself in and drop, an aerial hoop, which is a ring that spins, static trapeze, which is a trapeze that doesn't move, as well as swinging trapeze, which is a trapeze that you swing up until you're horizontal and do twists and flips and catch the trapeze. I picked the aerial stuff just because I'm good at it, better at it than the ground acrobatics, and I like it. First trick on the trapeze is toe hang, and then I take one foot off so it becomes a one toe hang. You're basically supported by the top of your foot. Next would be a trick that we named the G-spin after our logo for Zero Gravity. There are other people that do this trick, we just don't know of anybody, so we gave it our own name. There's always injury involved in any professional sport, anything that you're doing. So I have a handful of repetitive strain injuries, but like nothing overly traumatic. I put on pants for the silks basically because one of the tricks really tears up your leg, and your leg comes out bruised and bleeding. So the pants just act as a barrier. As far as public shows, Zero Gravity Circus puts on a festival every year, and it's called the Toronto International Circus Festival. So you can check that out online and look for advertisement. Our next festival will be in May or June this year, and that's a great venue to see me perform publicly.
I don't know about you guys, but I thought that was pretty awesome. If you want to see more live, then you can visit www.tlcircusfestival.com. Until next time, I'm Aubrey Godman.
Wow, that's some flexibility. It's so amazing to me that people could be so driven and committed to their dreams.
That's true. Everybody's different. You know, there are people who choose to focus their energy on positive things like athletics, and there are others who choose to get involved in a life of crime. I met someone who lived this lifestyle and is trying to slowly change his life for the better. Peep the video.
In the hustle and bustle of a big city like Toronto, some teens are drawn to fast money and living the luxurious life, but aren't willing to work for it. So they resort to a life of drugs, crime, and for some, a lengthy prison sentence. Manny is one of these individuals who got caught up in the fast life. He served 4 years behind bars for aggravated assault and a slew of other felony charges. This is his story.
I'll never forget the day my life got turned upside down.
Manny began his involvement in crime at a young age while growing up in public housing in Toronto's West End. His level of crime escalated as he grew older.
When I got into high school, I'd look up to the older kids and see the kind of lifestyle that they were having. They were using drugs, they were selling drugs, they were in gangs. I looked at all that and I liked it, so it became a part of me.
That's where Manny's life as a criminal began. From stealing to dealing, he had one mission: money. But things don't always go your way.
People say money doesn't bring happiness, but at the time, it was making me happy. So one day, I was making a drug deal, and it felt like every other drug deal, but on the inside, I didn't feel right. Next thing you know, the cops come charging in. They arrested me for trafficking of narcotics. As the years went on, I caught a couple more charges. Nothing serious. I went to jail for a week or two here and there. In this business, there's always people that want to take that money or make that money that you're making. So I heard of this dude that was trying to take over my spot, selling his dope, and trying to take over my customers. And I just wouldn't have it. So one day comes by, and I went up to the dude, and I confronted him about stepping into my area and selling his dope to my customers. I don't know whether it was the mix of alcohol and drugs, or whether I had a bad day, but I felt like my mind was taken over by something I couldn't stop. The next thing I know, I'm just punching this guy left and right, that he was just lying there unconscious. I did feel guilty about the situation. But when you're in this game, I could have very well been on the other side of that beating.
Manny was arrested the following week. He was charged and convicted of aggravated assault and battery. He also picked up a couple of drug charges, plus he was on probation. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison.
As they were driving me up to Lindsay, we were going to Ontario Eastern Correctional Facility. I've been to jail before, but this wasn't going to be the same. I've been to youth jails. This was going to be a penitentiary. The first night I was there was just brutal. It wasn't like the times that I've been locked up before. It's not how you see it in movies where it's all glorified, you know, it looks cool to be in jail. This is not somewhere you want to end up. My first night, it's just difficult thinking about it. It was horrifying. It was dark. I couldn't see anything. All I could hear is the voices of the other inmates yelling. Things that made my time there were things that would make me realize that my time there would not be easy. So I still have 4 more years to go. And to make matters worse, my girlfriend breaks the news that she's pregnant. Not only am I young and having a child, but I'm in prison. As the days and nights went by, they went by slow, keep that in mind. But it gave me a lot to think about. Life was moving fast on the outside. People were going to work. People were going home to their families. They would go to sporting events, whatever. But for me, all I could do was sit in my cell and just think of what I could do to better my life. One thing that I really appreciated or benefited from, let's say, was the fact that I couldn't do drugs, I couldn't drink alcohol, and that was the first step of me becoming a better person. At this point in time, I was really optimistic. It was 2 weeks to my release date. But those 2 weeks took longer, or it at least felt longer, than the 4 years. 2 weeks passed, and my release date finally came. I was a free man. Since my release, all I do is spend time with my son and my family. I take my son to the park. I teach him how to play sports. I talk to him. Not only is he my son, but as he grows up, I want to be his best friend. I want to do things my father never did for me. Basically, one thing I just want to say to all the kids out there who watch the movies, it's not how it looks, it's not how it seems. It's not as glamorous as it seems, and I'm telling you, I've been there and I've been through it all. And one thing that helped me survive it all was knowing that I had a son coming. That's what made me survive, and that's what kept me going. So if you're dealing, if you're doing drugs, put it aside and do something better for yourself. Get an education, grow up, have a family, and be a true man and support your family.
Wow, that's so good to see. I wish him luck. But it's almost time to present our special guests. But first, you guys have heard of Project Runway. That's the reality show where with all that fashion designing, well, our very own Oscar Bandy got to speak with one of the designers. So let's check it out.
I went in the arts, right? And I did painting, I did graphic arts, I did music, and I really wanted to become a musician when I was younger, and it didn't happen. And then later on, I realized that I would like a mixture of all the arts, right? Not just one. So fashion seemed to be the perfect one. I really like to challenge people a little bit, you know, and my last show was a bit about challenge, and throughout Project Runway, I was trying to challenge a little bit the system, and it wasn't always well received, and I didn't expect for it to be well received because, you know, people tend to say negative things much faster than positive. What I'm trying to do with my fashion is I'm trying to really bring a bit of the European flavor into Canadian fashion. And I mean, if you go to all the good stores all over the world, it's European designers that are predominantly in those stores. So I want us to kind of take an example from the European fashion and bring it to Canada. No designer ever in Canada got so much publicity in the whole history of fashion here. So just being part of that and gaining all that you know, fame and respect. I don't think I've changed my style per se. I've definitely gone to a different level in my work because it's more I experimented. I took the risk of experimenting during the show and see what people like, because there were, you know, mainly 4 judges, you know, 1 guest judge and 3 other judges that we had, and they all have different taste and they all have different kind of vision about fashion, and to please all of them, it's extremely hard because it's actually close to impossible, you know, to make everybody happy. So at one point I actually nailed it where everybody liked my work, so I just kind of went along those lines, and it's still my style. I just kind of brought down a little bit, made it a bit more understandable, because my work is not always understandable per se. So I toned down a lot. With the talent and the experience that I've gained over the years,
Now, what would you do if you were an inner city kid looking for a way to express yourself? Beats to the Street is a group that was made for just that purpose. We're lucky enough to have one of the members of the performers for us. Let's not waste any more time. Performing for us live, here's Romeo.
No place, no home, being disowned. I think I might have to go to a dome, spend the night doing the double. Then I see my peoples caught up in the same trouble. Society looks down at us because we got no jobs, no education. They see us having no future, no place to go. Caught up in the mix like convicts, tied up to a tree like the beast on Halloween. Seeing visions, hearing the truth. One day, just one day, I'm gonna shine like my baby mama. Then we all see heaven's gate to open. Bloom from the hourglass. These are the days of our lives. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right. Thanks for that performance. Now, tell me a little bit about Beats to the Streets.
Well, our goal is basically to empower youth through urban music, whether it's rap, singing, spoken word. So, creativity. So, basically.
How did you get involved?
I was actually living at a shelter at Second Base in Scarborough, and some people dropped off flyers and stuff like that. So I took a flyer, called it up. The manager of Beats to the Streets, Gwen Winesbro, she actually asked me to come over and take a few sessions and everything like that. So basically I came, checked it out, and liked it. So
how many people are involved in Beats to the Streets?
Right now, I would say about 15.
15, wow.
Yeah.
And who are some of your influences?
God and my brother Joseph, Jomo Pierre. He's an actor. So, but most of all, I would actually say my Beats to the Streets family, because we are all like family. So yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to say to anybody watching right now?
I just like to make a shout out to my crew, Beats to the Streets, One Love. So, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with us. We really appreciate it. But now we have one more story to show you guys, and it's an issue that's been plaguing this nation. Steve Matassa has found a secret society of bumpers, and that went on a search and find out to see what they want. Let's take a look.
The beautiful city of Toronto has become the scene for some heinous activity that goes on every day. Unnoticed by many, but ruthless nonetheless. Some call it a plague, others a virus. The issue I'm talking about is none other than bumping.
What you just had to witness was disgusting. It happens to me every single day. No matter where I am, some inconsiderate bumper seems to take me out. With little regard for my personal safety. This is unacceptable.
Richard Fingers, medical doctor.
Well, these people usually have several personality traits. They're often abused as children, more often than not by a loved one or family member. They have trouble expressing themselves to others and usually act out in school or in the workplace. We're speaking, of course, about sexual predators, correct? Bumping? What is bumping? Are you for real? Bill, Craig, is this clown friggin' serious?
I decided to hear it from the horse's mouth, to talk to an actual bumper, someone who endangers people every day.
Well, my first time was back in '87, just after a Journey concert. My friend had asked me to try it a few times before, so I did it. And I've been chasing that feeling ever since. There's nothing like your first bump, bro. Nothing. No one is safe, pal. No one.
He digs left and he digs right, and boom! He's the signature Johnny Block shoulder.
Where's that on?
My friends all ask me what I'm talking about when I tell them I've been bumped again, and I can't believe they don't get it. No one seems to understand what I'm talking about. They all think I'm crazy.
Well, here at the Journal, we always like to end the Journal with a hilarious piece, and I think that was the best one we've had so far.
That was it.
And once again, we'd like to thank Romeo for her great recital, and we wish her luck in the near future.
And thank you for enjoying our show. It was the most live, most energetic, and I hope that you tune in next week at 4 o'clock Thursday for the Journal. And for that, I'm Mark Bullock.
And I'm Pete, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.